Good morning, one and all. Thanks for coming and waiting for your time. So, once again, good afternoon to everyone. So, hope you are safe there. Yes. So, without any laggings, just start the session. So, firstly, I would like to thank the sponsors from SNS College of Technology. So, today webinar on embedded systems using Raspberry Pi. So, yeah, the concept is interesting. So let's get into it. So firstly, I would like to thank to the convener, Dr. A. Vishwanathan, sir, and to the coordinator, PM Challapandi. So thank you, sir. Thanks for giving such an opportunity to share the knowledge among everyone. So yes, get into the session very quickly. Firstly, our topic is embedded systems with Raspberry Pi. Okay. So far, we have done so many webinars on this embedded system, particular embedded systems with Raspberry Pi as well as Python. Moreover, the combination of IoT and all. So today, compared to those, it's different because I only deal about all those things, right? So I know how to deal with in different form. So in this video or in this session, I'll cover all the topics which are related to Raspberry Pi. Moreover, I'll go with online simulation. Okay, it's not possible with online simulation. So I'll deal with everything which is related to our Raspberry Pi on embedded systems. Okay, so without any lagging, let's get into the session. So firstly, the introduction part. So is about IoT. So the reason why I inscribed IoT because the main topic so-called Raspberry Pi is purely depends on internet. In order to share some data, it requires internet, right? So firstly, we'll go with what is embedded system. So that is the main concept. So embedded system is nothing but when a system or any devices which are communicating with each other without any interface of human, that is what we call as embedded system. That means it doesn't require any human to interface in between the work. Best example, the home appliances or automated water hands wash system or automatic door opening systems. So all these are embedded systems which doesn't require any human to interface in between the work process. Best example, if you want to wash your hands in an automatic system means you just need to place your hands, that's it. That's enough for you. So automatically you get some water, quantity of water in order to wash your hands, right? So that means one system is trained depending on the features what we have. That means to give a 50 ml of water in 5 seconds or 10 seconds, like that. In practical times they have to work for it. So that is a system. So in that system and for the tap, it doesn't require any human to work on with that, right? You just need a controller to control all those things and one input unit which is nothing but a sensor to detect the human hand. So these two are things are required to get some output is nothing but our water. So all this system work together in a step-by-step manner and without any interface of human, that we call it as embedded system in a simple form. So coming to IoT, what it will do? So it's an upgraded version of embedded systems, I can say. That's because in IoT the communication will take place with the help of internet. That means it doesn't require any human to work on, but it requires internet to communicate with one system to other system. That means we can control any other systems with the help of one main system, which is nothing but controlling system. So that can access to any other devices with the help of internet. So a best example for this IoT is nothing but intelligent smart home system. So which is nothing but you can control your AC and TV with the help of remote, right, or mobile phone. That means with the help of internet you can control that particular AC from your home or from your office. So that depends on your wish. So you can control from anywhere. That means we are creating one source, a separate communication line to one device to other device with the help of internet. So this makes us a IoT device, that means Internet of Things device. So here the definition for Internet of Things is nothing but when things are communicating with each other without any interface of human, that is what we call as Internet of Things. That means and with the help of internet. So this stands IoT thing. Okay. So the basic 4 units what we have to follow in order to make some introduction to this IoT. So which is nothing but, firstly, the foremost thing, which is nothing but communication between devices. So here the communication between devices happens with the help of internet. So with the help of internet, we can connect our mobile phone with our laptop, or our laptop with TV. So we can control, right, with the help of mobile phone itself. So that means we are making one line to that mobile phone and to that TV. So this makes a communication line to two different devices. So these two are internet IoT things. So apart from that, what it required one cloud platform. So cloud platform is nothing but, it's a separate data storage place which stores the data, and moreover it can analyze the data. So here the production and analyzing part will take place in that cloud platform. So cloud is nothing but a separate database. You can call it as a separate database which stores the data, okay, in a simple manner. So that means it will store the data whatever you want. Just for example, so for Facebook and Google we have cloud platforms. So you can access the same thing with your mobile phone, moreover with the TV. But in between that, we need one unit to store all the data what we have, send a message or whatever the things we have. So all the things will be transferred through a mediator, that we call it as cloud, okay. So it will store the data, moreover it will analyze the data. So that is the best feature in cloud. So after that act and optimization, it goes with sensing and collecting data from nature. That nothing but sensors. So with the help of sensors, we can sense the data and collect the data from nature. Nature is nothing but the environment what we have. So from body temperature, we can sense the body. So if you are going to shopping malls, you can see that one, right? So that means everyone is sensing your temperature, body temperature, with the help of one sensor, that temperature sensor, right? So without touching you, they are sensing the temperature of your body. So like that, we have many more sensors to collect each and everything in our environment. So that makes us to make easy analyzation, moreover easy work process. So apart from without sensing, like without input we can't get output, right? So sensors are the input units for every system in sample, okay. And the brain unit is nothing but the microcontroller. So microcontroller will play a key role to work on with these sensing particles and moreover with the analyzing data. So apart from that, at the end we get an output of any outcome, so called water. In our scenario, we get a water of 50 ml whenever you want to wash your hand. So that is an output, okay. So analyzing data means it's nothing but it sends some data, right? So with the help of that data, it will analyze the data. So from here to we get some data. So this data will be analyzed with the help of analyzing tools, or you can use language, Python language, to analyze the data, okay. That is what comes under a machine learning part. So we will train that particular device whatever we are using right now, okay. So all this is the theoretical one. So I'll go with one practical thing. In that I'll explain each and everything in detail, okay. Now, so coming to the survey what we have on IoT, which is nothing but Internet of Things. So now in latest trends in of 20 as of 2020, for each second we are registering 120 new IoT devices and which are connected to web. So that means we are connecting 127 any of the devices which are mobile phone or whatever the things we have which are connected to internet. So for each and every second they are registering 127 new mobile devices, not just mobile devices, new IoT devices, okay. So in the duration of 2020 we have 31 billions of IoT devices in our daily life, okay. You got it right, 31 billions as of 2020. But as of predictions what we have as of 2025, we can get 1,52,200 devices, IoT devices for each minute, okay. This is a minute registration. So coming to here, it's a seconds registration. For each and every second 127, for each and every minute 1,52,200 devices per minute in 2025. So that means as of total in 2025 we can expect 80 billions of IoT devices which are connected to internet. So you can see that rapid change rate. If you have any interest to work on with this technology, I prefer IoT because IoT is the emerging technology what we have. So if you are facing any interview or if you are facing any challenge on technology, just go with IoT technology. Then you can definitely get an opportunity to work on with that. Okay. So each and every technology is purely depends on IoT in order to connect the devices. So just make sure that you know well about IoT, then you get an opportunity of job. Okay. So just go with IoT platforms, whatever you have, or now I am dealing about Raspberry Pi, right? So it's an important one. You can go with that. But in my frame, IoT is the best option in order to learn a new technology coming to core part. Okay. And apart from that, what we have. So here, let's see the level of communications what we have. So how it happens in an IoT communication. So firstly, it collects the data from things. Nothing but you can see Internet of Things stands for things are nothing but the environmental data. So whatever the data we have, so all the data giving options we call it as things. So which are nothing but humans or devices. So in order to predict the human nature, we used to get the values of human itself. So here let's consider things as human. So all the data which is related to health or the monitoring, continuous monitoring of human health or something like that. Now in COVID cases, we can see this place. So continuously human body is monitored the health condition, moreover the oxygen supply. So the reason why, because if you neglect it at least for 1 minute, it's enough to carry him out, right? So that's why we should monitor for each and every second. So for that things like humans, we are connected one device which are nothing but a microcontrolling device. In our cases a computer, you can connect a computer or whatever the things. If you ever have seen this in practical, so called in ICUs, so that you can get they used to connect one devices which are nothing but controlling units. So they'll connect those things to this controlling unit. So with the help of these controlling units, they'll analyze the data. So firstly they'll analyze the data. Apart from that, reading the data, they'll transfer the data to cloud. So cloud is nothing but a separate data platform, as I said. So from this to with the help of routers, what we have a Wi-Fi signals. So with the help of that one, all the things will be uploaded to cloud platform. Okay. So the reason why we are uploading, that's because if the doctor is not at home or not at hospital, so with the help of applications, what we have, any application that is related to IoT, so he can monitor that one with the help of his mobile phone itself. So from his mobile phone he'll get the values so that he can monitor virtually. So whenever any odd thing happens, he'll directly instruct to the one of his junior and he'll treat him properly. So this makes the efficiency of work more possible. So for those things, what we want, first we need to collect the data and make some communications between that device to particular microcontroller, and that controller to we will upload the data in cloud platform, and that cloud platform the process of analyzing, which is nothing but heart rate or whatever the data we have, all the things will be analyzed, and after that the action, which is nothing but the act which was taken by the user, which is nothing but a doctor or whoever monitoring the continuous things of human or anything. So this is just an example for you in order to think practically. Okay, if you are monitoring one guy who is in ICU, if in COVID times it helps more, that's because we can't monitor him personally. That's because COVID may affect to you, right? So we'll keep one thing which is nothing but an IoT thing. It will continuously monitor his health condition and it will upload the values to your mobile phone directly to your website. So that you can monitor him continuously with the help of webcam or whatever the things you want. You can monitor his health condition, moreover his physical condition too. So by sitting in your home itself. So this makes more efficient. I can say with the help of Corona, we improved a lot in this kind of healthcare systems. So the reason, because in Corona, we doesn't require any physical contact. If any physical contact happen, it may spread, right? So in order to decrease the terms, we are using more and more Internet of Things, IoT things, in order to communicate more and more. So in order to make some virtual communication, we should possess one IoT thing. So the reason behind a rapid growth is nothing but one of the reason is Corona. Okay. So what are the applications we have in IoT? So what we can do with IoT? So now I have considered only healthcare, right? So why healthcare means, now in the latest trend is purely on healthcare, because everyone has a life, like everyone has a faith on it, right? So we are fighting for it. So that's why healthcare is the primary thing for us. Next, environmental, which are comes under a farming or agriculture or vegetation or climate changes. So these are comes under environment. And the next things are with smart cities. So this is purely depends on the government who are working on that in order to increase the economy. So moreover, the commercial, which are nothing but shopping malls and all, and the industrial, which are nothing but mining on wherever the industries you can see. In order to produce a new material with more efficiency, we should use IoT applications. So in infrastructure, which are nothing but in order to increase the efficiency of health, energy efficiency, or the consumption of energy. For this required, we need one IoT applications in all these scenarios. So as I said, now we have a trend on healthcare, right? IoT applications with healthcare. So for this, as I said, we need one controlling unit. So we know how we get an input from human body with the help of thermometer, or all these are sensor unit. So we have value. So but for this we need one brain unit in order to control the values and deliver to us, right? So for this we use one microcontroller. Firstly, how to choose a microcontroller? That is the best question in our scenario. So for MCU means microcontrolling unit for IoT. So what is the best microcontrolling unit for IoT? So firstly, we have three preferences, which are nothing but simplicity, security, cost. So these three are very important in order to comes with microcontrolling unit for IoT, especially for Internet of Things, because you know the cyber security is what we have, the threats we have, so the data will be corrupted. So firstly, simplicity. Simplicity is nothing but that should be easy to use, like user friendly. Moreover, it requires easy functions to work on with that. So firstly, simplicity. Apart from that, security, you know the security values, right? So if the data is corrupted or any interruptions happens, you don't know the consequences. So security is very important. Apart from that, cost. So in our India or any other states, the cost is high. The cost is should be efficient, then only everyone can afford it, right? So the cost as a third preference for us. So if these three things are happened eventually, then we can go with the particular microcontroller. So in our scenario, we are going with microcontroller, so called Raspberry Pi. So why Raspberry Pi? That's because we have thousands of microcontrollers. Among them, why Raspberry Pi? Because in our latest technologies, Raspberry Pi is one of the best microcontroller what we have. So with the help of this particular microcontroller, which is nothing but Raspberry Pi, we can run a computer with a separate OS, so called Raspberry Pi and OS. So you can see the changes, you can see the size too. It's like a credit card sized computer. So with the help of that size only, we can run entire computer. So you can assume how powerful it is, right? So we have more controllers, so called Arduino, Node MCU, and many more. But in this scenario, why Raspberry Pi means Arduino doesn't support internet connections. It doesn't consist of inbuilt Wi-Fi module, so it's not connected to internet. Moreover, coming to Node MCU, you may think it has some internet connections, but it's not that much efficient in order to make a camera interface, and we can't communicate with more and more devices. So why Raspberry Pi, you'll get to know whenever you get all the things about Raspberry Pi first. Okay, firstly, the basic introduction of Raspberry Pi. So Raspberry Pi is a low cost credit card sized computer that plugs into a monitor or TV, whatever you want, or a standard keyboard and mouse. So if these things are with you, you can create a computer with the help of this particular Raspberry Pi. You can simply call it as a CPU, central processing unit. Okay, you can replace the entire CPU what you have in your homes with the help of this Raspberry Pi. So it's of $35. You can if you want to seriously want to make one project on this, or if you want to work about this, you can buy this one. It's available in everywhere. So that's the importance. It's user friendly, moreover it's easy, low cost, moreover we can find everywhere in internet websites, and moreover, so firstly it's capable with little devices that enables people of all ages to explore computing. So with the help of it doesn't have any limitations like only for 18 plus or something like that, so anyone can use this. Firstly, the startup, why they invented Raspberry Pi, that's because US government thought we have to educate computer knowledge to children. So they made one separate controller, a microprocessor, which is nothing but a CPU, which is less efficient, less cost. Moreover, it can perform the same operation, one particular operation, like our laptop or like our personal computer. So they made it with a small size credit card size in order to port from one way to other way. So it makes us easy. Moreover, it capable for programming and playing games. Moreover, high defined videos, we can capture the videos. Moreover, we can see the videos from here. So as I said, you can use it as a CPU. In a simple words, you can use it as a CPU. You should remove everything. You just need only monitor, keyboard, mouse. Okay. Here, how to connect them, we can see in detail. Okay. Moreover, it has so many versions. We'll see one by one. So here you can see the basic trending versions of Raspberry Pi is nothing but Raspberry Pi 3, Model V, and Raspberry Pi 4. Okay, these two are trending technologies, trending models what we have. So why trending? That's because, as I said, Raspberry Pi used for work to work one certain operation. To perform one particular operation, Raspberry Pi is sufficient, and moreover, it acts as a microcontroller. So firstly, what it will do? As I said, it can act as a computer, right? So what are the components we have to act as a computer? Firstly, you can see both the things are same. So here the upgraded version happens in HDMI port. It has two HDMI ports which can display 4K resolution. It has a normal HDMI port which can display up to 1080. Okay, so let's go with common ports. What we have, it has USB ports which are easy to connect with keyboard and mouse, or you can connect a pen drive like that. Okay, and it consists of one Ethernet jack. I'm explaining with Raspberry Pi 3 module. This is what we have, what we do with projects, because it's easy. Moreover, it has it's less efficient compared to Pi 4, but this is the trending what we use right now. So first I'll explain this one. So this is an upcoming technology what we have to use in upcoming days. Okay, so here we have USB ports, 4 USB ports, moreover one Ethernet jack and one audio jack. You know the uses of Ethernet jack, right? So it's used to get internet to it. Moreover, it consists of audio jack, which is used to get the audio signals from it. So you can use you can directly add your earphones, you can plug inside in it, and you can listen songs what's inside. Like you can use like a computer, personal computer, how you will connect the USB port and you can access, right, audio jack, the same thing. Moreover, it consists of camera module port. If you want to configure any camera, if you want to make some changes in that camera, you can particularly make the changes in camera. It has that camera port too. So the reason why this particular Raspberry Pi, because it has these many components inside one microcontroller. Okay, it consists of HDMI port. You can directly connect to your monitor or smart TV. So directly you can see what's inside in it. Like how you can see, if you connect your monitor to CPU, you can see what's inside a Windows, right? Like that you can see a Raspberry Pi, what inside a Raspberry Pi. Okay, and it consists of USB power supply. So the power supply is must and should for each and every electronic device. So here you can see you can directly plug in a USB power supply. Okay, moreover, it consists of a backside, it consists of SD card slot. So why SD card slot? Because we have to dump one OS, right? So for CPU we used to use one hard disk to dump our Windows OS. So the same thing here, in order to dump the OS, Raspberry Pi OS, we have to possess one SD card. So in that SD card you should dump the entire OS, and you have to insert that SD card in that Raspberry Pi. So in backside it consists of a slot like this, you have to insert that seat. So moreover, the next thing, it consists of system on chip SOC. It's a combination of microprocessor and microcontroller. Moreover, it consists of inbuilt Wi-Fi module. Okay. So for internet, in order to use wireless communication, we can directly connect our internet. Okay. So next thing is GPIO pins, general purpose input output pins. So it has 40 pins, right? Among them we have 26 GPIO pins and remaining are terminal pins. Terminal pins are nothing but ground and power supply. Okay. So now you can see the difference, right? It consists of type C charger, which is the fastest charger what we have, USB type C, and the camera port is same. Moreover, the camera port is same, audio jack is same. So it consists of USB 2 and USB 3. USB 2 compared to these two, USB 3 can transfer the data which is of 3 times. Okay, so that much efficiency we have in this. And we have two HDMI ports which can support 4K. So that is the difference between these two. And moreover, it consists of a choice of RAM. So you can choose any of the RAM. So in this versions the RAM is fixed, which is nothing but a 2 GB or 1 GB. But coming to this, you can choose a RAM of 2, 4, 8. So whenever you increase the RAM process, so the working process is also increases. So you can use this for a particular process in many times. Okay, so it can perform multiple tasks at a time. Okay, like that, if you want to play a game, if you use 8 GB RAM card, that means it will act more and more. Okay. So coming to the pins, please concentrate on these pins because you don't find any pin numbers on that particular Raspberry Pi if you have buy it. So here you have to get this information from internet, or you can screenshot this one. So here you can see, right, as I said, it has 26 GPIO pins. They won't be in ascending order or descending order. They'll be on random positions. Okay. Apart from those GPIO pins, it has terminal pins. As I said, power pin 5 volts. Moreover, the black things are ground. Okay, ground. Okay, you can see 6, 9, 14, 20, 25, 30, 34, 39 are ground. So you have to see these numbers according to the positions. Okay, you can't define by numbers because this GPIO Raspberry Pi doesn't have any numbers which are displayed here. You just work about the positions. So this is pin number 1, this is pin number 2, like that you have to configure each and everything. So depending on that, the GPIO what you have to process that one. Okay. So this is the basic explanation on GPIO pins, detailed explanation. And what the next generation we have. So coming to GPIO pins in this Raspberry Pi 5. So this is not, this is still under development. So as I said, we have so many versions in Raspberry Pi. Now we are using Raspberry Pi 3. The 4 is upcoming. The 5 is on development. Okay, the 5 is still not there. So here the best things are, it consists of analog pins. So analog inputs are nothing but it doesn't consist of any analog input. Sorry, it doesn't consist of any analog input. Here you can see all these are general purpose input output pins. That means it only take digital data. So coming to the next generation, which is Raspberry Pi 5 module. So in this we have some analog pins. So that's the best thing. And it consists of PWM pins, outputs which are nothing but pulse width modulation pins. You can see these two in Arduino board. So they are arranging all those things in order to make more efficient. Okay, programmable input output state mission systems and additional hardware and UART interface, and moreover accelerated on chip floating points with integrated libraries, hardware interrupters. So all these are beyond the technology what we have. So at present we doesn't have any of this. So now we are using that one more efficiently. So if the next generation comes under, so we can work more and more. So you can see, right, this is the Raspberry Pi for you. If you want to explain for one more time, I can go through it. Okay, because Raspberry Pi is an important thing for us, a very important one to work on with that. Okay. So I'm waiting for your comments. If you want to explain once more about Raspberry Pi, I can explain, because Raspberry Pi is a very important one. So let's go with the overview of Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi is a microcontroller. It's a combination of microprocessor and microcontroller. you can see, right, that this is the image of Raspberry Pi. So firstly, Raspberry Pi is a low cost and credit card sized computer. So the name itself, it's a credit, it's in a size of credit card, but we can use this as a computer. So you may assume that how we can use it as a computer. So if you seriously have any monitor, you just directly connect HDMI port to this Raspberry Pi. That's enough. You can display, you can see a Raspberry Pi imager inside in it. Okay, I'll explain how to dump the OS inside in it. We have one step-by-step procedure. I'll go through it, but before that, you should know about the theoretical thing on Raspberry Pi. Okay, Raspberry Pi is purely a credit card sized computer. So if you connect a monitor and keyboard to it, you can use it as a personal computer. Okay, so you may got it out of, we can use this in laptop. Yes, we can use this in laptop, but for that we should possess one software so called VNC player. So if you install that one, you can use this Raspberry Pi in your Windows too. Okay, that means it needs some permission in order to work with other OS. Like you can use Windows in iOS, right? Like that, you can use any of the OS's operating systems in one OS to other OS, but we need some separate application like this. Okay, and moreover, if you have laptops and phones, it doesn't have any Raspberry Pi, means it's impossible to run the OS, like it's impossible to simulate that one. So for simulation, we must and should require OS, operating system, for Raspberry Pi, which is separately made by a Raspberry Pi team. Okay, we have to use that one. And moreover, the name Raspberry Pi itself, Raspberry is a fruit name, Pi is for Python language. Okay, with the help of Python language, all the schematics and sketches were implemented. So we required Python language, a basic knowledge on Python language in order to work with this. Okay, so I'll go with one online execution too, but before that, let me show how to install OS. So if you are interested to buy this online platforms, but I'll show how to install in your home itself. So first go to Chrome and type like Pantech Raspberry Pi installation. So if you type Raspberry Pi installation, the first which is given by us, how to install OS, operating system of Raspberry Pi. So it will display like this, and in this you can find each and everything in a step-by-step manner. Moreover, if you want to check more, you can get a video in our channel too, how to install a Raspberry Pi OS. Okay, so first I'll show with one step. If you want to install the OS, you have to click that. You can see that one right here, Raspberry Pi Sketch OS. You have to click here, so we'll get a OS like this, imager, which is an official site. So you can download this Raspberry Pi imager. So if you download this Raspberry Pi imager, it will show like this, Raspberry Pi imager. This is, so it will open like this. It takes some time to open. So it will open like this. So if you want to install a OS inside a Raspberry Pi, as I said, you required one SD card, right? So with the help of card reader, you can insert the SD card to your laptop. You have to choose the OS, which is Raspberry Pi OS 32-bit, and you have to choose the location. So here it doesn't displays anything, right? Because I'm not inserted anything here. So if you insert SD card to your laptop or your computer, it will show a path here. So you have to select that path and you have to click write option. So whenever you're done with write option, it takes 10 minutes to write entire OS to that SD card. So you can remove that SD card and you can directly insert that SD card in Raspberry Pi. Okay, in this Raspberry Pi, backside of this. So that is the basic introduction how to go with if you want to any practical execution like that. Okay, so this is the difference. Moreover, you can find a Raspberry Pi 3 module in market. Moreover, Pi 4 is also available, but just go with Pi 3 because it's easy to use compared to Pi 4. Okay, just go with pin description. As I said, it consists of 40 pins. All these 40 pins are internally connected to each and every component. Okay, each and every component inside a Raspberry Pi. So it has 26 GPIO pins, which are nothing but general purpose input output pins. which are used to transmit the data from one device to another device or one thing to another thing. Okay, remaining are power supply and ground pins, which are used to connect to the same peripheral units. Peripherals are nothing but the other components like sensors or whatever the things we have connected. Okay, all these things are important when you are going with execution. So if you seriously want to make a project on it, just contact us, we can help through it. Okay, we just help the physical assistance, so you can get all the things. Okay, so as I said, we are waiting for the Raspberry Pi 5 module. That's the reason, because it has many more features which are analog pins. So here you can see the bug. It doesn't consist of any analog pin in this among this 40. So that means it doesn't monitor any other device continuously. That means analog means continuous, right? It doesn't monitor continuously because it doesn't have any continuous pins, so called analog pins. So we have to use ADC converter, a separate analog to digital converter. We have to use connect them, and we have to take the digital data. So for the next modules, it doesn't require anything because we have analog pins, and moreover we can process through it. Okay, so that's the simple introduction on Raspberry Pi what we have. So if you want to execute this in online, so we have a fantastic software so called Fritzing. Okay, it's an open source interactive to develop or a CAD software. It's a hobby CAD software for designing electronic hardware to support designers and artists to make an experiment with a prototype to build more and more implementing circuits. Okay, with the help of Fritzing, we can create a circuit with the help of the controllers what we have. So if you are not willing to buy any Raspberry Pi outside, but you can go through an you can prepare an online circuit with the help of this software, nothing but Fritzing. Okay, I have this application, you can download. It is free of source in Google. You can download this one. Okay, moreover with this Fritzing, what we can do, we can make a circuits with the help of the process what we have. So it has Arduinos and so many microcontrollers what we have. So all the things are available. Yes, the file should be paid, but it has a free source to develop the circuits. Okay, I'll show the circuit how to develop in this Fritzing. I have the application, so let's get into it. Okay, so the application circuit will be like this. Okay, if you have developed any Fritzing circuit, you can develop this much circuit with the help of that software, particular software. So if you are interested with working this, just install Fritzing software from OS. Okay, so now I already installed that one. Now I'll open that one. So Fritzing ESC. So if you open this one, you can see, right? I'll explain this circuit too, don't worry. But before that, let's go with interaction between the particular software what we have. Okay, software name is Fritzing. Okay, so it takes some time. So whenever it's done, it open like this. Moreover, you have to go to breadboard. So in this breadboard, you can find a breadboard. You can resize this one. Here you can see the options, right? Half. I need a half board. That's enough. So here this is the parts, components what we want. So all the components are available. So now we are dealing with Raspberry Pi, right? So in this you can find one Raspberry Pi. See here you can see, right? Raspberry Pi computer module. Okay, so it takes some time to catch up here. So you just need to drag this one, that's it. Okay, here the specifications will be there in the interrupter. Okay, this is the Raspberry Pi 3 module, and if you click this one, you can see it's a breadboard one. It is of half size. Okay, if you want to increase the size, you can increase. If not, you can decrease the size. You know the uses of breadboard, right? In order to connect with one peripheral to another peripheral, we have to use this Raspberry Pi. We have to use this breadboard. So now this is the Raspberry Pi. If you want to rotate this one, just click on this. You can see rotate option. Okay, this is rotate. You can directly install the software in Google. The name is Fritzing. Okay, so here how to connect this one. Here you can see the names here itself. So if you want to connect a buzzer, okay, like a experiment of buzzer. You can see this is the buzzer, okay. You can drag that one here. This is a buzzer. Here it has two terminals. It will show the names to pin 2 and pin 1, okay. One is ground and one is power supply, so the same thing should be connected. So here you can connect, this is 5 volts, right? So that's why I said it doesn't show anything here. That's why I said you to by heart, not just by heart, to learn the key values of this ground. So separately you can see, right, sixth one is ground and any of the GPIO we can connect. So if you want to search that one, just place a mouse on it, it will show ground, okay. You can connect a ground to any of this port and that port to ground. So if you connect like this, it will be more clarity compared to others. So this is not ground, this is power supply. So I want to delete this one, means just click on this, delete. So I'll add one more. So this is ground, right, black one. So a ground to ground. So now I can connect any of the GPIO pin that should be written in code. So I'm connecting 13 GPIO pin to this board and to this one. So whenever in code session, if I have written that GPIO 13 should be on, means GPIO 13 should be on, means then only that buzzer will be will give some beep sound, okay. So like that we have to connect any of these things so that we can make a circuit diagram here. So apart from making a circuit diagram, what we can get? We can get a schematic diagram, moreover a PCB layout. I think you know this one, printed circuit board layout. So here the worst thing in this fritzing means we can't simulate this one. So here the simulation won't happen. That reason because it required Raspberry Pi and OS to simulate with their components, okay. So if you want to interface with any other component, so called IR sensor, you can go with IR sensor too, okay. You have to type like IR. Let's see, all these are IR sensors. We have to find a best IR sensor for us, okay. So it takes some time if you type anything, if you type any component or something like that. So it takes some time. So we can directly use a simple one what we have. So buzzer we are done. So if you want to connect a light, just drag that light. So the same thing, anode, cathode. Cathode means negative, anode means positive, right? So this is anode, anode to positive. So any of this pin. So the positive signal here itself. So for this we should we should connect one resistor. The reason why, because without resistor the light may get more. So this is negative, right? We can connect to this one directly. So this is the use of breadboard. By this we can connect. You can occupy more number of pins and we can connect to multiple devices. You got it, right? So just go with the installation of fritzing. What you can do with the help of this one, you know how to connect a circuit to the Raspberry Pi. So with the Raspberry Pi, if you are aware of circuits, you can directly execute that one when you buy Raspberry Pi in your home, okay. You can see this is a so this is I made in order to not to waste your time. So I just made a circuit diagram with the help of many, these all we call it as peripherals. One is LDR and IR, gas sensor, motor, and moreover LED bulb and buzzer. You can see, right? So I have connected to each and everything. This is a interface connector to both the things. We can call it as GPIO extender, okay. This is a GPIO extender. It will connect each and every pin in a serial manner. So that we can connect a multiple pins to the same pin, okay. So this makes a clarity for us. So that's why if you don't use this one, means if you directly connect to, means that's okay, that's fine, but you may get confused whenever you're going with that, okay. So far you're cleared with fritzing and the application, how to use that application. I'll show once more. So you'll display a board like this. So whenever you install, next you have to go to board session. So in that board you consist of components part. Here you can find the components. In core part you can directly find the Raspberry Pi. You can see, right, in computers you can find Raspberry Pi. If not, this infinite symbol is Arduino. Okay, if you want to go with Arduino, you can go with the Arduino. So compared to Raspberry Pi, Arduino is easy to interface. Okay, so here coming to others, Arduino is easy to interface, right, and moreover it consists of execution part too. So but because it doesn't require any software, Arduino doesn't require any software to interface. Okay, like OS. So in code part you can select Arduino board, Arduino Uno, and you can type a code here if you want to interface, if you want to simulate that Raspberry Pi, like if you want to simulate, that means. So you can the connections are same, ground to ground and power supply to, so ground to ground and power supply to any of the pin, any of this pin you can control the buzzer. Okay, by this you can control the buzzer. You must code and must and should be required. So I explained this code part in one of my webinar. You just go through it. In that I explained the code and all. So if I designed a breadboard here, you can see the PCB too. So this is a PCB for Arduino and this is a PCB for Raspberry Pi. So this app is that much helpful to you. A schematic diagram and moreover a breadboard, a pure view for us. So you can play with this if you are interested in that. So I will suggest to install this Fritzing. So you have to go with mod APK, mod application. So that gives a free source to you. Okay. So the connections are easy. You just need to work out with the code. If you have any interest, just follow our webinars. In that we clearly mention each and everything in detail. Okay. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me now related to any of the topic what I have covered. Okay. So you asked Madhav ma'am, you asked how to simulate with Pi, right? So as I said, for Raspberry Pi we required OS. So without operating system of Raspberry Pi we can't simulate. So that means we have to buy one Raspberry Pi and then only we can simulate the same thing. So the reason why implemented in this software, because in order to habituate with the Raspberry Pi. So that is the reason why we are practicing in here. And coming to serial execution, we must and should buy Raspberry Pi and we have to execute that one. The reason why, because it requires OS, operating system, the Raspberry Pi operating system, in order to get simulation. Okay. Yeah, thanks for asking a question, ma'am. If you have any questions, you can ask me right now. I can answer to it. The latest version of Raspberry Pi, Sri Sai Ganesh, Raspberry Pi 400 and moreover Raspberry Pi Pico, both are latest ones only, but Raspberry Pi 400 is now a latest model for us. In order to work with project, now we are preferring Raspberry Pi 400. The reason, because compared to the specifications, Raspberry Pi 400 is more. Okay, so it's Raspberry Pi 400. Internal structure of GPIO ports. Okay, let me show that one. So internal structure means it purely depends on the PCB designing. So each and every port is connected to the data as well as the power supply. So you can see, right, this is the outside picture what we have. Internal picture means that means is that simulator is not free, ma'am. We have to use that application. This simulator is not free. We have to go with mod application. Okay, this is a professional tool. Not everyone can use this. Okay, and the display what I have showing is the internal structure of GPIO. So each and everything is pre-programmed. We are not. If you want to pre-program these pins, you can pre-program. If not, you can use as it is. Okay, you can use this 6th pin as a power supply. If you want to pre-program that one, you have to go with the Python, and you can go with that. So internal structure is fixed with the libraries too. So we just need to use that one with the help of importing that libraries. Can we design a garbage file using Fritzing? Yeah, moreover we can do anything. So as I said, if you want to work with any project, just go with Fritzing and design a circuit there. Then you can get a values. Okay. So attendance link will be provided in the description. If not, they'll provide now at the end of session. Please wait for that. So before in these connections, you should connect resistor. Okay, as like this. Okay, you should connect a resistor for it. So without resistor, it doesn't work. Okay, 1k resistor, 1k ohm resistor is enough. So that is used to it. So any questions? Yeah, Fritzing is not free. We have to apply a mod application. Fritzing, Harsha Kumar, Fritzing is not free application. Fritzing is a paid one. We have to, if you want to install, you have to go through it online application, which is nothing but mod APK, mod application. Okay, Harsha Kumar, your doubt is clear, right? It's not free one. How to program Raspberry Pi remotely through laptop? Surya Kumar, thanks for asking this question. As I said, in laptop means you have to work with other OS. So this is Windows OS, right? So for this we need to install VNC player. Wait, I'll show VNC player. Okay. So this is the application what we need to install in order to work with laptop. So these are the Raspberry Pis what I have. So if I want to connect any of these, it should be connected to power supply. So whenever it connected to power supply, if I click this one, automatically it will connect to that Raspberry Pi and I can see in my laptop itself. Okay. So with the help of VNC player, I can go through it. So these are the IP addresses for each and every Raspberry Pi what we have worked. Okay. So if that one is connected, it will directly connect. If not, it will show that time is out because I don't have Raspberry Pi right now. These things are worked yesterday itself. Okay. So if you want a new Raspberry Pi, you have to search an address here. And if you are done with address like 192.186.2. Any of the Raspberry Pi number. Okay. Yeah, you can simulate Node MCU, but the same thing with these two. Node MCU, you have to install a separate package. For that, you have to pay for it. Okay. In order to simulate Node MCU, you should buy additional packages of Node MCU. Rajendra Dattu. Okay. If you want to program remotely means you have to use this VNC viewer and that's enough in order to program that one. You can operate from here and you can make changes any of this. Okay. So far cleared, right? Suresh Kumar. VNC viewer, VLC, not VLC, VNC viewer. Uh, Alright, it's VNC viewer, VNC. You can see, right? VNC viewer. So you can search in Google. That's not a big deal. VNC viewer. So this is VNC viewer. Okay. Yeah. Seva Murugan. Raspberry Pi is costlier than Arduino. That's because Raspberry Pi has more and more specifications. Moreover, it's connected to internet, right? So that's why Raspberry Pi is costly than Arduino. Raspberry Pi is costly. Raspberry Pi in our language, in our terms, Raspberry Pi is 3000. Moreover, Arduino is 600, like that. VNC viewer. Yes, it's VNC viewer. VNC abbreviation Nagarjuna Gund. Sir, VNC means virtual networking computing. Okay, virtual network computing. We can share the desktop here. Okay, in what is inside the Raspberry Pi. Rajendra Dattu, which OS is good for Raspberry Pi? You asked, right? So it has a separate OS as I shown here. So this is the Raspberry Pi OS. So in this Raspberry Pi OS 32-bit. So we don't have any options to choose. It has an inbuilt OS. We have to use that one. Okay. Madhavi garu, can we connect serial ports of Arduino and USB port of Pi directly? No, most probably no, ma'am, because that port is particularly used for power supply. Moreover, if you have USB to USB jack, you can connect. Okay, if you want to interface, that one means you have to use external ports. Like the Raspberry Pi has the ports, right? So the same thing the Arduino have. So you can connect through that. A data pin, you can transfer the data. Fritzing link. Yes, I have one drive link. Please join in our WhatsApp group so that I can explain the Fritzing free application. Okay, if you want the Fritzing application, just join in our WhatsApp group. We'll upload there. Okay, a direct application drive link I have. You can directly download from there. Okay. Your Prasanna, please join in our WhatsApp if you want more. Okay. I hope everyone's doubt is cleared. Suresh Kumar, please share the details connection with VNC. Details means how to connect that VNC player to Raspberry Pi, sir. So if you want to do like that means you just need one Raspberry Pi and a laptop. So if you are connected, if you are given power supply, it should be configured before earlier. If you while installing it will ask for password and Wi-Fi. So there you have to inscribe your mobile password and mobile Wi-Fi. So the laptop and the Raspberry Pi must and should be connected to the same Wi-Fi network. So then only they'll connect easily. So it's not that much easy compared to listening. Okay, if you seriously want to get in, just buy a Raspberry Pi, then you can clearly get each and everything. We are here to guide you. Just join in our WhatsApp channels and everything what you have can get that in detail. Okay, so I suggest you to join in our WhatsApp group. The reason why, because there I can provide Fritzing a free application there. And please if you have any queries, please contact the number what I have mentioned here. Okay, related to project and everything. So moreover, I'll end up with the motivation line. So even if there is no way, those who don't worry always find the way. So a motivation line for today. So don't worry about the tactics what we have or the queries what you have. Just go on with the flow, you'll find a way. A simple solution for it. If you have any queries related to your if I missed anything, unfortunately, just join in our WhatsApp channel. There you can get it. Okay, thanks for your replies and all. Thanks for asking questions too. What is the maximum screen resolution? So a nice question, Yashwant, Dr. Yashwant Kumar. Up to now we have a technology of Raspberry Pi 3 module. We have a resolution of output resolution of 1080, the latest one. But coming to Raspberry Pi 4, it has a capacity of 4K. Okay, I think the Yashwant, your question is cleared. Okay, for Raspberry Pi 4 it's 4K. Coming to Pi 3 it has 1080. Okay, thank you for very valuable comments. If you have any doubts regarding Raspberry Pi and Fritzing applications and regarding my seminar, just ask me right now. That's fine. Attendance link will be provided at the end of the session. Don't worry. if you want any details that related to your project, if you want to engage with our project, just contact these details what I have displayed here. Okay. And to motivate me, just click like button and subscribe so that I can give more and more things like this, and suggest me a new topic for the next sessions. I can go with that. If you want more details on whatever the topics I have mentioned, fridging or something like that, just contact them. They'll assign a sir, he can teach you more and more. Okay, so it's completely on your worth. If you want to learn more, you can get more. Yes, thank you for your comments. And moreover, I would like to thank again this SNS College of Technology for giving such an opportunity to share the knowledge that is related to Raspberry Pi and all. So, firstly, I would like to thank the coordinator, sir, Dr. A. Vishwanathan, and to the coordinator, PM Challapandi. So, thank you, sir. Thanks for giving such a valuable topic to share the knowledge on this. Okay, thanks for your questions too. Even you learned so many things today. So attendance link will be provided in the link. First join the WhatsApp group for more details. More details in the sense, if you want any description links or any link, you can join through the loop and you can ask your voice. You can raise your voice there. Okay. Attendance link will be provided right now. They'll ping the message. Don't worry about that. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. If not, I'll end up the session. And thanks for your time. Have a nice day. So attendance link will be provided in the description. Don't worry about that if you ever find that one. Okay, in the description. Moreover, you can see search in the comment section too. Okay, if I ended this session, they'll keep that in the attendance in the description. Okay, so you can find attendance link there. Please fill that attendance form and get the session useful. Moreover, like that and hit the subscribe button for more like this. So attendance link is provided in the description, in the in the comment section. So I just ping the name attendance link. Just join through attendance link. Have a nice day. Yes, Shravani ma'am, Maunika ma'am. So thanks you. So attendance link is there in the description. You can see. So please fill the attendance sheet to ensure your certificate. Once more, we have tagged that one. Yes, yes. Thank you, sir. Thanks for your suggestion. We'll definitely increase the time. Nagaraju, sir, will definitely increase the time to 1.5 hour, 2 hours. Yes. So thanks for grabbing this knowledge. Have a nice day. Thank you.